Hi guys, Justin here from Triple O's Garage. Today I'm going to talk about fuel injectors and the cleaning of fuel injectors. Years ago when we had carburetors, everyone spoke about cleaning their jets and block jets and jet performance and carburetor performance, but with the age of electronics and computer controlled bikes, we seem to neglect our fuel injectors. Fuel injectors are simply a valve that opens and closes at a different rate depending on the fuel needs of the bike, and there is a constant pressure held behind that fuel injector. So if this is a fuel injector that I'm holding, there is fuel under pressure on the top at all times, and there is a pulse sent through the wires that will open the injector for a set period of time to allow the appropriate level of fuel in. And that's all based on the size of the holes in the bottom of the injector. And you can see from this how microscopic these holes are. A lot of them smaller than the diameter of a human hair. One of those gets blocked, you lose 25% in this injector, because it's a 4-hole injector, 25% of your fuel flow just stopped. What happens then is the oxygen sensor in the header pipes, which on most bikes there's only one off, reads that the bike is overall a bit lean and it puts a bit more fuel in. So now it's trying to compensate for one injector by putting fuel into all 4 injectors. Therefore, the other 3 injectors are wasting fuel to give it that balance, but this one's still running lean. So the issue with not having injectors clean in a multi-cylinder bike or a single cylinder is that they're less fuel efficient, whilst the opportunity for one cylinder is that it could run lean, or 2 or 3 could be running lean, but it's just really important that these are maintained. So how we do that is on this fuel injection tester and diagnostic machine, which also has an ultrasonic bath, which we can operate the injector in whilst it pulses. So we test the flow of the injector here, and then later on we can then put the injector into the ultrasonic bath. And I'll get you to just put the camera there for a moment. This dirt and grime is probably from only 8 or 9 injector cleans, and that's what's come out of injectors, to give you an idea of how much build-up gets through. And it's very fine grit, and it's just sediment and things that get through the fuel filter. So I'm going to show you about it. This is an old injector we've found that's been sitting around, so we'll see what that's like. Then we'll clean it and we'll flow test it again. And it just shows you what we do. Now, this service is available from us. It's a really cost-effective service, and it's even cheaper if you do it while we're doing a service on your bike, because we've already got the tank off, and we can be accessing your airbox, etc., so we can get to your injectors easier in a major service. So ask us about the prices and give us a call, but it's a really important service. Okay guys, I've set up this injector in the machine now. As you can see, we're only testing off one injector, so I've blanked off the others. This machine can do 8 at a time, but we usually set it up for 4-cylinder bikes, only have one injector, or a lot of the modern bikes do have 2 injectors per cylinder. So we can do all 8 injectors in one run of this machine. And it lets us compare the flow of every injector and measure by volume the equality of each injector. So we can see if one's out of spec or not sharing the same volume, etc. We can look at the spray pattern. I can turn the injector off and hold pressure to see if fuel's leaking past the injector. And we can do a test at varying pressures. So I can set my parameters to match the fuel pressure of different motorcycles. So we can look at what pressure the fuel pump is running on the particular motorbike, and that's where we set the pressure to test the injector to replicate what's actually happening when the bike's being ridden. So I'll show you now. We'll do a spray pattern and flow test on this just to give you an idea. So you can hear the machine's getting pressure. There's pressure on that injector. You can see the 4 sprays of fuel coming out. That's operating at 30 psi. We can ramp that up to different pressures if we need, but you could see there quite clearly the amount of flow, and I can measure that over time. Again, this is a quick run through. This has an auto program, and this machine will run it through about a 5-minute test of all different pressures, different injection timings to replicate different throttle openings, etc. And it lets us see very clearly what injectors may need more work than others. So that's the test now. Now what we're going to do is take this injector out, clean it, and test it again. Okay guys, so we've now got the injector set up in our ultrasonic bath. It uses a special ultrasonic fluid. We put some into the throat of the injector so it can work its way through. And what happens is, as the machine is ultrasonic cleaning, these cables again emulate various rev rates of opening so that it's operating whilst it's getting cleaned at the same time. And the machine has a program to run it through that. So if we run this program and turn on our machine, many of you would have seen this type of thing at a jewellery shop. So that's what sort of instrument this is. You know, we clean all sorts of little parts on this. We can clean jets, we can clean little bits and pieces that are really hard to get into with this little device here. So this will now go for about 12 minutes, and again we can have 8 injectors here at one time getting a wash whilst we're testing another lot here. So we'll let this run for 6 minutes and then we'll have a look at it and we'll flow test it again. Okay guys, so we've cleaned our injector. I've got the injector back in the machine. I just want to make clear in relation to this little video, please, any mechanics or people who are very technically based and love the internet, this is just a test and just an example to show people how fuel injection works and the concept behind it. Obviously when we do this there's much more procedure, it's out of a bike, this is a sample injector we've got, etc. But anyway, let's just have a look here. So first of all, you saw the spray pattern before, so now we're just going to do a normal flow test. So let's have a look here and run that flow test. So straight away we can see a significantly more volume coming out of that injector. You can see how straight away it's filling up more, running the same pressure. I'll just stop that test briefly. Now what I'm going to do is show you what happens on the bike itself. So we're going to do a test now where we can control the RPM. So you can hear here, this is at 1000 RPM and you can see the spray pattern. This is what it would be like on your bike at 1000 RPM. That's 5000 RPM. Hear how hard that little injector is working, just at 5000 RPM. And imagine on a modern 4-cylinder with twin injectors, you've got 8 of these doing this. Now let's go up to, say, 8000 RPM, and you'll see the pace at which this little injector works. So that's 8100 RPM, and you can see it's just a mist coming out now, and you can hear the pulse. And that's in your bike, it's that pulse that releases the exact amount of fuel in the right volume for that stroke of the cylinder. So on power commanders, for example, you're tuning the opening time, so you're tuning how much longer the injector stays open. But look at the volume out of that one injector now, just after running that in the ultrasonic bath. So what I'm hoping from this video is that you see the value in this, and if you ever talk to us and want to think about things you could do extra to your bike to really keep it in the best operating condition, a fuel injection clean is a great way to go. We're one of the few shops that have invested in this type of machinery. We're always happy for you to come and have a look, talk to us about it, and it is a really cost-effective way to keep your bike running in tip-top shape. I hope that's helped. Please, again, it was just a brief overview to try and give you a concept. Thanks.